Hey guys, so today I have a really quick video for you. We're going to go over part of my warm-up routine, specifically foam rolling. So in case you guys don't already have one, for this you're going to need a foam roller, obviously. I like to use a high density one that's, they usually tend to be black, but if you want a softer one and you're just starting off with foam rolling, it's probably going to be a little easier for you. Alright, so let's kick it off. So we're going to start with the front of your quad. So I like to go in sections. I'm first going to start with the lower section of my quad from the base of my patella, about halfway up. And you're just going to roll slowly back and forth, keeping a nice neutral spine so you don't want to be, letting the back sag in or, tipping that butt up, okay? So focus on going in small little section from the top of that knee about halfway up the quad. After that, you're going to do the next section, which is going to be your upper quad. So roll on a little bit. You're going to start about halfway down your quad all the way up to the groin. Okay, you're going to do this for about 20 seconds. Again, I'm just going to show you one side of my body. Normally you'd obviously do both legs, but I'm just going to do one today. Okay, so focus on that section. Next, I'm going to do my IT band. So I'm going to roll on over to the outside of my quad. And again, this is going to be done in two sections. I'm going to start at the base of my knee and go about halfway up nice and slow, rolling back and forth. You can make this a little easier by placing your opposite leg on the floor and holding yourself up a little bit. It'll take a little bit of the tension away. Okay, so next we're going to do that upper part of the quad, rolling about halfway up, starting here, and then all the way to the base of the hip, just like this. Okay, next we're going to do the adductor. So that's going to be your inner thigh. You're going to want to put the foam roller, I find it to be a little easier if you do it at about a 45 degree angle, excuse me. And again, you want to be on your forearms. You don't want to put all your weight on your wrist for this. So we're going to start at the base again of the knee, halfway up the inner thigh, rolling nice and slow, keeping that spine in a nice neutral, flat position. Okay, so about 20 seconds there. And then you're going to want to start about halfway up the inner thigh all the way to the groin. 20 seconds there. All right, next we're going to flip on over to the other side and we're going to focus on our glutes. Bring this on behind you. I'm going to do one at a time. So I like to focus on first the outside of my glute. That tends to be where you're going to get those pressure points and where you notice those knots. But again, move around in sections, figure out where you're really feeling it most. So nice and slow. I like to focus on a little bit on the upper glute, that gets pretty tight. Okay, so next we're going to do our lats. So you're going to go from about the base of your shoulder blade all the way up to your armpit for here. Roll like this, back and forth. And this is one of those areas you don't see people foam rolling a lot, but it'll actually get pretty tight. So I think you'll be surprised if you've never foam rolled this area of your body before to see how tight it really can get. So I like to focus on sections again. You can roll a little further, but again, it's really just from the base of your shoulder blade to that armpit. Okay, next we're going to do the back. So first we're going to do thoracic spine. So we're going to start in the middle of your back, and then we're going to work our way up in sections to the upper back. And so for this, you're going to want to keep your glutes on the ground. You're going to keep your neck in a nice neutral position to start. So you can either support it very lightly with your hands, or your hands can go over your head right here. And we're just going to lean back like this, extending our neck back, and then curling up. Okay, and I'll do this a few times. And then I'll move up to the next little section. So I'm about 3/4 of the way up my back here. And this should feel really good, especially if you've got a tight back. Curl up. Okay, and then extend back. Being careful here, excuse me, not to let that neck fall back, right? So keep it in a nice neutral position. Curling in, bring that chest towards the chin, bring the chin towards the chest. Okay, and then last little section and extend back and curl my neck in. So I'm going to do that a couple more times. And then from here, if you have really tight shoulders and you tend to get knots, perhaps you sit at a desk all day, you can focus a little bit on your shoulders. So roll up slightly and then shift your weight from one side and just focus in little tiny sections. When you find those knots, hold it there, about 20 seconds, and then roll back and forth. Focusing on really just no more than an inch of movement back and forth when you find those knots. All right, so that is my typical warm-up routine when it comes to foam roller. I've got some other stuff that I add in, some dynamic stretches, some mobility drills, so I'll go over that in a future video. I also sometimes like to use a lacrosse ball for more of those smaller areas that tend to be really tight and hard to get to with a foam roller. So typically I'll use a lacrosse ball on my calves, I'll use it on my glutes, and sometimes if I get knots in my shoulders. So I'll save that for a later video. Hope you guys got some good information.